Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be having an update on Tropical Storm Barry. Now we'll be going ahead and get started with Satellite right now. Barry is starting to get better organized than the last time I made a video about Barry. As you can see here, hold on, we're going to stop to what it is right now. And we'll be getting my pen out here. Your low will be somewhere right in here. You got your winds going counterclockwise, like it should be. Louisiana and Mississippi, starting to see clouds coming from the southeast to northwest, I should say. I'm getting some development going around in here, getting some storms to develop. A little bit of a dry slot going on here, not as many clouds at this point. But right now it's getting pretty well organized at this point. So here it is, Tropical Storm Barry. It's right now 40-mile-an-hour wind, so it's tropical storm status. We do have a little bit of a tropical wave out in the Atlantic. We may have to watch that, but it is possible. But it is very low. As you can see, it's a 10% for the next 5 days and 48 hours. So yeah, we'll worry about that later on, because the tracks on this can be a little bit interesting. But we're not going to be talking about that. We'll be talking about Barry here. So here's the Hurricane Center's outlook. They've got they still got a chance of a hurricane there. You got hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings, and we even still got tropical storm watches still in effect here. You can see here they have changed their forecast. It's starting to bow towards the Ohio Valley. So really anybody on the east side of this cone needs to watch for this, because it's going to be bringing out a lot of rain in a hurry. It doesn't really matter where the eye of the storm is, because the rain is going to be expanding for hundreds of miles. So you can even have rain bands. If your eye is right here, you can have rain bands going as far as northern Mississippi and Alabama. That shows you how far these rain bands can go, and that can bring down a lot of rain in a hurry there. Now let's look into the spaghetti models here. You can see most models, at least the majority of them, wants to take the storm pretty much ending up into the Ohio Valley region. That's basically the cone there. These others, I don't think we're not going to care about these three here, but it is still possible. I mean, basically the race, so Houston, you're pretty much safe, but it is still possible. But I highly agree with the cone I just made at this point. So here's taking a look into the intensity forecast here. You can see there's 4 models that reaches into Category 1. Now there's none that goes to Category 2 or near it. But the majority of the models wants to keep it as maintaining tropical storm. But should we agree with this? Yes, we can. But it is still possible it can reach Category 1. Now, this is going to be a difficult forecast, because if it stays in the water a little bit longer, this can be becoming Category 2. As you can see here in the Gulf of Mexico, your waters is at 31 degrees Celsius, which is extremely warm. In Fahrenheit, that's basically between 85 to 90 degrees. There's even areas that's even push a little over 90 degrees off the coast of New Orleans. Now, New Orleans already had some major flooding, mesoscale cluster of thunderstorms, which have put in a flash flood emergency, and they still got more rain to come. So let's take a look into the European model here. You can see as of 2 o'clock, the euro is kind of got in a good spot at this point, so it's a little bit stronger than it is at this point. It's showing 51 gusts there. Let's go to 10 o'clock. The winds start to hit portions of New Orleans, 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Still maintaining 51 miles per hour. Let's go to 2 o'clock. The eye starts to make landfall. Winds gusting up to 65. Here's 10 o'clock. Winds start to get a little bit stronger, reaching 70. Here's 12 o'clock. The eye hits Lafayette, Louisiana. This is just by Europeans' idea. 79, 80 miles an hour for a wind gust. Here's 8 o'clock. Still very strong winds here. Let's go a little bit further north. Let's go to 6 o'clock. Then it starts to die down some. But still maintaining winds gusting up to 66 miles an hour. I don't know if she's buying it or not. And it continues. It wants to keep it tropical storm here. And it's 3 o'clock on, let's see here, Tuesday. It still wants to keep it tropical storm. I don't know if I'm going to be buying that or not. But here's winds, though. Showing at 15. So that is pretty much a low, very low end tropical depression. This is about tropical depression right there. So that's what the European model suggestion is here. So let's back it up. Let's go to the GFS here. It's got winds up to 40 miles an hour. So right now the GFS is doing pretty well with this. It's got a pretty good handle. And I think it's willing to take it a little bit east, like heading right towards New Orleans than the other models, just from the last run. But it seems like it's kind of changing up a little bit here. Well, actually, you know what? It looked like it was in New Orleans and moved a little bit west and then pushed up north. But it's still bad news for New Orleans because they're still going to get a lot of rain from this. Let's go to wind gust here. Here's your wind gust, 62 miles an hour. Continues out north into Mississippi and Alabama. And from there, it reaches into Kentucky. Up there. Let's go ahead and go into rain accumulations. Next 10 days. Got a lot of rain stretching either from New Orleans all the way up into central Tennessee and maybe even reaching into central Kentucky, where there is rainfall totals anywhere between, we'll just say 2 inches to 20 inches of rain just in these states here. But the further you go north, the less the rainfall totals will be. Birmingham, 6 inches. Montgomery, 4.5. Mobile, 7 inches. New Orleans, 18 inches. Wow, a lot of rain to show here. What's the European suggestion? Here you go. Pretty good rainfall total stretches from southern Indiana and central Kentucky all the way back down to Louisiana. You can see around Jackson over a foot of rain. That's a lot. 20 inches of rain for north central Louisiana. New Orleans, not that bad. 6 inches or 5 inches of rain. That is not bad for them guys there. But the Euro is kind of agreeing with the Hurricane Center's rainfall forecast, which I should probably show it to you guys here. Here's their rainfall forecast here. You can see here, it seems like they just now updated their outlook here. As you can see here, the green is anywhere from 1 to 4 inches. The yellow is 4 to 6. The orange is 6 to 10 inches. The red is 10 to 15 inches. And that pink there is 15 to 20 inches of rain. The bullseye right now is looking to be close to New Orleans, which is going to be a problem for them guys there. Now keep in mind, these storms here can bring down rain in a hurry. I mean, they're holding a lot of moisture, especially when you go a little bit 100 miles out. There could be some severe weather to deal with, especially for like Mississippi and Louisiana, maybe even Alabama, has a chance for a brief tornado or a few spin-ups. I mean, that's what these tropical storms can do here. Here's your wind forecast, not wind forecast, but your surf. The waves, see here, up to 11 feet in the Gulf of Mexico, which is some very large waves there. Let's go to 5 o'clock. This is when it starts to gain strength a little bit. Still 11 feet. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Seeing some darkened colors to show up, reaching 12 feet highs. We're going to go to the next day. Yep, 12 feet. Here's 8 a.m. I mean, look at those waves, man. 16 feet. Let's go to 2 o'clock. Still getting higher. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Wow, 20 feet. 11 on Friday. 21 feet. Let's go to 8 a.m. for Saturday. It's going to be some very rough waves. 12 feet along the coast. That could be some pretty good storm surge there. Starts to die down some as the tropical storm starts to reach to the coast, or on land, I should say. But still getting some really high surf, and then it starts to die down a little bit there. And again, the water temperatures are very high, so it really depends of how long the storm here could stay longer. So if it stays on the west track, going west, it can be stronger there. It could be up to Category 2 for Texas. But if it moves up north, like most of the models are showing, it could be Category 1. But this thing is moving very slow, so it does have a lot of time to get its act together. And whenever it hits these warmer waters, the waters are warmer about Louisiana than where it is right now. Upper 80s and low 90s there. Here's my updated forecast here. Your strength forecast is still the same, 100% for tropical depression and storm, and a 60% chance for Category 1. I updated the percentages here. Chances of getting hit by a center of tropical storm by city. Mobile, Alabama is at 30%. New Orleans is at 75%, with the highest out of the others. Houston, 20%. It's gone lower. Lake Charles, 60%. Alexandria, 70%, Lufkin, 20%, Shreveport, 55%, Jackson, 50%, Little Rock, 45%, Memphis, 35%, Granda, 30%, Nashville, and Paducah with 25% there. And here you go. Here's my updated forecast here. As you can see here, tropical depression winds goes as far as southern Indiana, western Kentucky, western Tennessee. This is going to have to probably be downgraded maybe back into Tennessee, and same thing for tropical storm winds. But the Category 1 is going to stay where it is for the most part. The only thing I've changed is the tropical depression has moved out of Texas, and the tropical depression is actually starting to move in a little bit more into Alabama there. The only changes I've made. But if we get better agreement on this, the tropical storm can be backed off, and same for the tropical depression can be backed off as far as what the north will show. So this is all good for guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this tropical update with Barry. If y'all like this video, hit that like button. And if you got any family members that live around New Orleans area, be sure to tell them to be prepared for the storm, because you're going to get a lot of rain. There there is definitely going to be some power outages. The wind is not going to be too big a threat. The main threat is going to be the rain there. Especially for around, even including Mississippi and Arkansas. Those states is going to have to keep an eye on this. We could probably expect to see Louisiana in the state of emergency a little bit later on. So, yeah. If y'all do really like my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If y'all got any questions about Tropical Storm Barry, put it in the comment section down below. I will answer y'all guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.